Dealers can't sell EVs anymore, so now they're dumping them. It's no secret that the electric vehicle market is hitting a snag, and it's not just a minor pothole, it's a full-blown roadblock. You see, most people aren't exactly lining up to buy EVs these days, and why would they? When even the Biden administration has thrown in the towel on their ambitious electrification plans. It's like they've hit the brakes on progress altogether. To make matters worse, car manufacturers are slamming on the brakes as well. They're pumping the brakes on their EV projects faster than you can say range anxiety. Why? Well, it's about the bottom line. They're trying to stash away every penny they can, and investing in EVs just doesn't seem to be cutting it anymore. And guess what? Dealerships are feeling the pinch too, with consumers steering clear of EVs like they're plagued with some kind of automotive curse. Dealerships are left holding the charging cord. They can't move these things off their lot if their lives depended on it. So what do? They're resorting to desperate measures, dumping EVs like yesterday's trash. But why, you might ask? Well, there are 5 major reasons why dealerships are ditching EVs faster than you could say gas guzzler, and trust us, none of them spell good news for the EV industry. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You just can't look away. So, buckle up, because we're about to take a bumpy ride through the sorry state of the EV market. Reason number 5. EVs are slow sellers. At first, dealerships couldn't get enough of selling EVs. The market was buzzing with early adopters who were more than eager to get their hands on the latest environmentally friendly vehicles. Demand was sky high, and car makers were grappling with disrupted supply chains. This chaos actually worked in the dealers' favor, allowing them to sell EVs with hefty markups. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. Easy money all around. But those golden days are long gone. The early adopter phase is over, and reality has set in. The middle class isn't jumping on the EV bandwagon. Why? Because EVs still aren't as affordable or convenient as traditional internal combustion engines or ICE cars. And if that weren't enough, supply chains have stabilized, flipping the market dynamics on their head. Now, instead of high demand and low supply, we have a glut of EVs with not nearly enough buyers. The numbers paint a bleak picture. Recent year-over-year data shows an 8% decline in EV sales. Meanwhile, production has reportedly skyrocketed by over 500% compared to last year. Just a quick glance at Cars.com reveals the inventory of EVs is up 36%. EVs are piling up on dealership lots, and no amount of discontinuing seems to help. The market day supply for EVs has ballooned to a staggering 107 days. Specific models are even worse off. The Mercedes-Benz EQS is at 157 days, the Mustang Mach-E at 151 days, and the Volkswagen ID.4 at a rough 122 days. So what does this mean for dealers? Their capital is tied up in EVs that just won't sell. Many dealerships have already thrown in the towel, announcing that they no longer want to participate in this electrification nightmare. The situation is dire, and it looks like it's only going to get worse. Reason number 4. Small profit margins. This brings us to another significant issue dealers face with EVs, the razor-thin profit margins. In the early days, EVs were a cash cow for dealers. High demand and low supply allowed them to slap massive markups on their hottest models. We're talking thousands of dollars in pure profit. Back then, even though they sold fewer cars, the profit margins made it well worthwhile. Fast forward to today, and the story couldn't be more different. The demand for EVs has plummeted, and the market is flooded with unsold inventory. The days of juicy markups are long gone. Instead, manufacturers and dealers are now desperate to offload their surplus stock. Tesla, for example, has sparked a brutal price war by slashing another $2,000 off its already reduced prices. This forces other car makers to follow suit. Look no further than Ford, which had to offer a massive discount on its F-150 Lightning, with cuts ranging from $7,000 to a whopping $15,000 earlier this year. In this cutthroat environment, dealers can't even dream of the markups they used to enjoy. Their room to maneuver is so limited that many can't rely on any profit at all. Some dealers are even resorting to selling EVs at a loss just to get them off the lot and recoup some of their capital. Given the current market day supply situation where EVs are sitting for months on end, it's no surprise dealers are doing whatever it takes to clear their inventory. The profit margins have evaporated, and it's a grim reality that dealers are grappling with every day. Reason number 3. Selling EVs requires a lot of work. Electric cars are moving off the lot much slower than anticipated, and that's a huge headache for dealers. Selling EVs isn't just about waiting longer for inventory to move, it also demands a lot more effort from the sales team. When people shop for EVs, the whole buying process is different from what they're used to with gas-powered cars. With traditional cars, it's pretty straightforward. You visit the dealer, arrange a test drive, do the paperwork, and drive away in your new car. But with EVs, it's a whole different ballgame. Recent studies show that potential EV buyers visit the dealership 4 times on average before making a decision. They want to learn more about these unfamiliar vehicles and make sure they're making the right choice. This is perfectly understandable for the buyer, but for salespeople who work on commission, it's a nightmare. Imagine having to invest 400% more time to earn the same commission. In simpler terms, they're working 3/4 of their time for free when it comes to selling EVs. And that doesn't even take into account the many potential buyers who visit several times only to walk away without buying anything. And that happens a lot, leaving salespeople frustrated and overworked. To cope, some salespeople resort to all sorts of tricks to steer customers away from EVs. They'll give out false information about charging times, range, or highway speeds just to sway buyers back towards good old gas-powered cars. It's a desperate move, but given the current market situation, who could blame them? Selling EVs is a tough, thankless job, and dealers are feeling the strain more than ever. Reason number 2. No maintenance money. Car sales bring in cash, but for most dealers, the real profit lies elsewhere. The goldmine for dealerships is in maintenance and repair services. So think about it. Routine services like oil changes, brake pad replacements, and other minor repairs are bread and butter for dealerships. They can charge a premium for these services, and customers keep coming back. But EVs? They throw a wrench in this whole system. EVs don't need regular maintenance like internal combustion engine cars do. There's no coil to change, no spark plugs to replace, and generally fewer moving parts that need constant attention. This directly hits the dealers where it hurts, right in their wallets. Without a steady stream of maintenance work, dealerships lose a significant source of income. And when it comes to repairs, things get even trickier. EVs are designed to be more reliable and suffer fewer mechanical issues than their gas-guzzling counterparts. However, practice often diverges from theory. A recent customer report survey found that EVs actually cause 80% more problems than ICE cars, but these issues are different in nature. Instead of mechanical problems, EVs are plagued by software and electronic glitches. Dealers aren't equipped to handle these high-tech issues. Their staff, trained for traditional car repairs, struggle with the complexities of EV technology. Often broken EVs sit on the lot for weeks, waiting for the manufacturer to provide a solution. This not only takes up valuable space, but also ties up the dealer's resources. In essence, EV repairs are more complicated and time-consuming, leaving dealers with lots of broken cars and no easy way to fix them. This is far from ideal for their business model, making EVs a financial drain rather than a lucrative venture. Reason number 1. Big EV investments. To sell electric cars, dealers need to meet stringent criteria set by manufacturers, primarily involving instilling charging infrastructure and training staff. But these upgrades don't come cheap. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in investment, and with the current state of the EV market, even the most optimistic dealers are hesitant to pour that kind of money into EV programs. Take Ford, for example. Not too long ago, Ford CEO Jim Farley proudly announced that 2/3 of their dealers nationwide have agreed to start the electrification program. This program required significant infrastructural changes and staff training, with investment levels ranging from $500,000 to $1.2 million, depending on the chosen package. Fast forward to late 2023, and that number dropped to half. Recent data suggests it has now dwindled to just a third. This dramatic drop-off indicates that Ford dealers are unwilling to risk their money in a market with such unpredictable dynamics. They see no feasible way to recoup their investments anytime soon, given that the Mustang Mach-E sits at a 5-month market day supply and the F-150 Lightning is produced at just a third of its capacity. And it's not just Ford. GM is in a similar predicament, struggling to make the EV economy work. GM has been forced to postpone major EV investments, including the production of the all-electric Silverado and Sierra pickups. They still require hefty investments from dealers to be eligible to sell EVs. Buick dealers faced a particularly bizarre situation situation. They were asked to invest $400,000 into an EV program, even though they don't currently sell electric cars. Unsurprisingly, half of Buick dealers opted for a buyout program rather than sinking money into a risky EV venture. GM hasn't started issuing ultimatums yet, but they're using various methods to pressure reluctant dealers. Dealers, being on the front line, know best what customers want, and right now, it's clear there's no strong demand for EVs. They'd rather stick to selling internal combustion engine cars, which still bring in steady profits, than gamble on the uncertainty of an EV future. In short, the massive investments required to support EV sales are a major deterrent for dealers. With the market dynamics as they are, the risk is too high. The potential for return on investment is way too low. Dealers are opting out of electrification programs, choosing to avoid these costly and complex commitments. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please like and share it, and remember to subscribe to the channel.